The intake filters at Station 7 clogged 3 times Thursday morning. 3 times in 4 hours. I've been running water treatment for the Cleveland system since 2011, 14 years, and I've never pulled this much biomass from a single shift. The stuff coming through looked like someone dumped a truckload of lime jello into Lake Erie. I'm elbow deep in the prefiltration tank when my phone buzzes. Danny, 12 years old, 7th grade next year, currently at Camp Woodland on Sandusky Bay for his first overnight summer camp. 2 weeks without video games. He'd complained the whole drive up last Sunday. Dad, the lake's gross. How gross? I'm scraping green film off the secondary screens with a putty knife. The biomass has this texture, sticky, almost rubbery. Not like the normal algae blooms we get in August. This is June. Water temperatures only hit 70 maybe twice this month. Like really gross. Counselor Jeff says we can't swim today. There's this floaty stuff everywhere. I switch the phone to speaker, grab the sample jar from my toolbox. Describe the floaty stuff. I dunno. Green, kinda lumpy. Smells like when you left the fish tank filter unplugged that time. The sample I'm collecting doesn't want to go in the jar. This cohesive sticks together in a mat instead of breaking apart. I have to use the putty knife to scrape it off the screen. Jeff's right about not swimming. Listen, I need you to stay away from the water completely. Not just swimming. Don't touch it. Dad, you're being weird. I'm being realistic. Whatever this is, it's not normal cyanobacteria. The EPA sends weekly reports during bloom season, nutrient levels, toxin concentrations, public health advisories. Last week's report showed elevated microcystin in western Lake Erie, but nothing close to closure thresholds. This stuff I'm looking at right now would have triggered every alarm they have. Would have, past tense, because they should have caught this 3 days ago minimum. Just stay clear of the water, I tell Danny. Have fun with the archery or whatever. I'll pick you up Sunday like we planned. Can we get buffalo wild wings on the way home? Yeah, traditional wings, not boneless. I know. He's been on this kick about traditional wings being more authentic since his friend Trevor's birthday party. I don't mention that traditional wings are just more expensive. Love you, kiddo. Love you too, Dad. I bag the sample, 3 of them actually, from different filter stages and label them with the date and time. June 19th, 2025, 10:47 a.m. Station 7, Cleveland intake, Lake Erie mile marker 143. I'm supposed to send samples to the state EPA lab in Columbus when we hit anomalous readings. Takes 5 days usually for results to come back. We don't have 5 days. I can see it in the intake feed. The water coming in from the lake has this faint green tinge now. Not the dark green of normal algae blooms. This is brighter, almost luminescent in the overhead fluorescence. I'm at my truck, 2015 Silverado, 140,000 miles, needs new brake pads, when Frank comes out of the building. How bad? Bad enough I'm calling Columbus directly instead of mailing samples. Frank's 56, been at this since before the Cuyahoga caught fire the last time. Not the famous fire in '69, the little one in '72 nobody talks about. He's seen every kind of environmental disaster Lake Erie can produce. They're not going to mobilize for a June bloom. This isn't a normal bloom. I hold up the sample jar. The biomass inside has formed a single coherent mass, pressed against the glass like it's trying to get out. Look at the structure. That's not diffuse algae. That's organized. Frank takes the jar, rotates it. The mass rotates with it, maintaining its orientation. Organized how? I don't know, but normal cyanobacteria doesn't stick together like this. Normal blooms break apart under turbulence. This stuff is, I don't know what the word is, cohesive, structural. You're overthinking it. Frank sets the jar down. It's just thicker than usual. Heavy nutrient load this spring. All that fertilizer runoff from Ohio farms, phosphorus from the treatment plants that haven't upgraded yet, creates dense blooms. He's technically right about the causes. Spring runoff's been brutal this year. March flooding dumped half of Ohio's topsoil into the Maumee River, which drains straight into Lake Erie's western basin. But that doesn't explain why this biomass behaves different. Doesn't explain why the water has that glow to it. Doesn't explain why my gut is screaming at me to get Danny out of Camp Woodland right now. I'm still calling Columbus, I say. It's your dime. Frank heads back to the control room. Literally, EPA phone lines bill back to the station if you call outside the normal reporting schedule. The Columbus EPA line rings 4 times before hitting voicemail. You've reached the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency, Division of Surface Water. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For emergency chemical spills, press 1. For all other inquiries, I press 1. The emergency line rings 8 times. 9, 10. On 12, someone picks up. EPA emergency line. This is Vicky. This is Tom Brennan, Chief Operator at Cleveland Water Station 7. We're pulling anomalous biomass from our Lake Erie intake. High cohesion, possible structural organization, visual luminescence. I need immediate lab analysis and public health assessment. Okay, Mr. Brennan, can you describe the biomass? I describe it. The texture, the color, the way it maintains structural integrity under turbulence. The way it's glowing faintly in certain light. Vicky types while I talk. I can hear the keyboard clicks. And you're seeing this at Station 7's intake? Correct. Mile marker 143. Approximately 4 miles offshore, depth 70 feet. More typing. Then silence. Long silence. 15 seconds. 20. Vicky, I'm checking something. One moment. Her voice has changed. Less bureaucratic, more focused. Mr. Brennan, have you seen the NOAA satellite imagery from this morning? No. I've been on site since 6 a.m. I'm sending you a link. Check your email. I pull up my phone, open the email app. The link loads NOAA Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory, real-time satellite composite. The image shows Lake Erie from above, color-coded for chlorophyll concentration. The western basin, everything west of the islands, is bright green. Not patches, not scattered blooms. Solid green, shore to shore, extending from Toledo to Sandusky to the Ohio-Michigan border. Jesus Christ, I say. That image is from 9:15 this morning, Vicky says. 3 hours ago. We're coordinating with NOAA and CDC. Public health advisory goes out at noon. Public health advisory. I'm staring at the satellite image. The green extends east now, creeping past Sandusky Bay, past where Danny is. You're shutting down water contact. We're recommending avoidance of water contact in affected areas pending toxin analysis. Recommending, not ordering, not requiring. You need to close the beaches, close every access point. This isn't microcystin. This is something different. Mr. Brennan, I understand your concern, but we can't issue beach closures without confirmed toxin levels above. I have a sample here that's exhibiting structural cohesion. That doesn't happen with normal cyanobacteria. That means genetic mutation or some kind of colony-level organization. Either way, that's not something that should be in contact with humans. Vicky's quiet again. I can hear office noise in the background. Phones ringing, people talking. Normal bureaucratic Friday morning. Nobody panicking yet. Send your samples to Columbus via courier, Vicky says finally. Expedited analysis, 48-hour turnaround. We'll adjust the advisory if needed. 48 hours. That's the fastest we can. I hang up. 48 hours means Monday morning. Danny's camp ends Sunday. The bloom's already at Sandusky Bay. I call the camp. The director, some woman named Patricia, answers on the third ring. Camp Woodland. This is Patricia. This is Tom Brennan. My son Danny's in cabin 6. I need to pick him up today. Oh, is everything all right? Family emergency. Not technically a lie. I can be there in 2 hours. Of course, no problem at all. We'll have Danny ready. Will you be requesting a partial refund for the unused days? I don't care about the refund. Sure, whatever the policy is. Great. We'll see you around 1 p.m. then. Earlier if I can make it. I'm already grabbing my keys, my work jacket. Frank looks up from the control panel. Where are you going? Getting my kid. Tom, we're in the middle of a filter crisis. I need you here. I need to get Danny out of Sandusky Bay before whatever's in that water gets worse. This filter crisis is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Call Midwest Water Solutions. Get them to send their emergency crew. They've got that portable filtration system they installed at Station 4 last year during the zebra mussel die-off. Frank's looking at me like I'm overreacting. Maybe I am, but I've been staring at water quality data for 14 years. I know what normal looks like. I know what manageable looks like. That satellite image isn't manageable. I'm at my truck, 2015 Silverado, 140,000 miles, needs new brake pads, when Frank comes out of the building. EPA called, he says. They're upgrading the advisory to no water contact for Western Lake Erie. Beach closures start at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Danny's camp is on Sandusky Bay, right in the middle of the affected zone. I'm getting him before that. Tom. Frank's got that look. The one that says he's about to tell me something I don't want to hear. They're also saying there's been incidents. What kind of incidents? People getting sick. Marinas around Toledo put in bay. Skin contact with the bloom causing reactions. Swelling, respiratory distress. 3 people admitted to Toledo Hospital this morning. My hands are shaking. I grip the truck keys harder. I need to get Danny. I know. Go. Frank waves me off. I'll handle the station. But Tom, don't touch the water. Don't let Danny touch the water. Don't let anyone touch the water. I'm already in the truck, engine running. Highway 2 to Sandusky is 90 minutes if traffic's clear. Less if I push it. The whole drive, I'm watching the lake. Highway 2 runs right along the shore. I can see the water through the gaps in the buildings, the marinas, the state parks. That green tinge is visible even from the road. The beaches have people on them. Families, kids, tourists who don't know yet about the advisory. I want to stop, want to tell them to get away from the water. But I keep driving. Danny first, everyone else after. My phone rings. Frank. EPA just upgraded again, he says. Mandatory beach closures, effective immediately. And Tom, they're calling it an organism. What? The bloom. It's not just cyanobacteria anymore. NOAA's saying it's exhibiting coordinated behavior, movement patterns. They're calling it an organism. Single organism. The whole bloom. I'm passing Vermilion now. 45 minutes to Sandusky. The water's greener here, thicker. I can see it from the highway. Patches of that luminescent biomass floating near the shore. How is that possible? Ask. They don't know. But Tom, they're also saying it's growing. Fast. Satellite shows the bloom expanded 20 square miles in the last 2 hours. 20 square miles. Sandusky Bay is maybe 50 square miles total. I'm almost there, I say. Be careful. I'm pushing 80 now, passing cars in the right lane. Sandusky City limits sign. 20 minutes to Camp Woodland. The bay is bright green, solid green, no blue water visible anywhere. the whole surface covered in that thick, gelatinous biomass. It's piled up against the shoreline in mats, 3 feet thick, maybe more. I can see it from the Sandusky Bay Bridge. The mats are moving, pulsing, like they're breathing. Camp Woodland is 5 miles past the bridge, down a county road that winds through state forest. The entrance gate is open. The parking lot is half empty. Some parents already picked up their kids. Looks like smart parents. I park and run toward the main building. Patricia's at the desk, phone pressed to her ear. She sees me and waves. "Yes, we're evacuating now," she's saying. "All campers will be released to parents or emergency contacts within the next hour." She hangs up, turns to me. "Mr. Brennan." Danny's in his cabin getting his things. Cabin 6, down the path to the left. "I'm sorry about the confusion. We're closing camp early due to the lake advisory." "Where's the cabin exactly?" "Follow the path past the mess hall. First cluster of cabins on the left. Number 6 is the one closest to the water." Closest to the water. I'm running before she finishes the sentence. The path winds through pine trees, past the archery range, past the mess hall with its painted sign. Camp Woodland, where memories grow. The cabins are small wooden structures, 4 bunks each, screened windows. Cabin 6 is at the end of the row, 30 feet from the water. The bay is right there, that bright green mass. It's not just floating anymore. It's creeping up the shore, inch by inch. I can see it moving now that I'm close. The mat at the waterline is pushing forward, spreading across the sand, reaching toward the grass, toward the cabins. "Danny!" The cabin door opens. My son steps out, backpack over his shoulder, looking annoyed. "Dad, why are you freaking out?" He's fine. He's perfect. Same annoyed 12-year-old expression he always has when I embarrass him. Same Cleveland Guardians t-shirt he wore when I dropped him off. "We're leaving. Now, I know Counselor Jeff said everyone has to go because of the algae thing." He points at the bay. "It's pretty gross, right? This morning it wasn't even on the beach. Now it's like everywhere. This morning it wasn't on the beach. Now it's 30 feet from his cabin." "Get in the truck." I'm pulling him toward the path. Other kids are coming out of their cabins now, parents arriving, counselors directing traffic. Patricia's voice over a loudspeaker. "All parents please proceed to the main building for checkout." I don't stop for checkout. I'm pulling Danny back up the path, back to the parking lot, back to my truck. He's protesting, something about leaving his friends, saying goodbye properly, getting his camp photo, but I don't care. We're in the truck. I'm driving. "Dad, what's wrong?" What's wrong is that the bloom is moving faster than it should. What's wrong is that EPA called it an organism. What's wrong is that I saw 3 feet of gelatinous biomass crawling up a beach toward my son's cabin. Nothing's wrong, I lie. Just want to beat the traffic. We're back on Highway 2, heading east toward Cleveland. The sun's out. It's a beautiful June afternoon, 78 degrees. The kind of day Lake Erie should be sparkling blue, covered in sailboats and jet skis. Instead, it's green, solid green, and according to NOAA, it's still growing. My phone buzzes. Text from Frank. "Station for intake just clogged. Station 6 reporting heavy biomass. This thing's heading east fast." I look at Danny in the passenger seat. He's playing some game on his phone, already over the drama of early pickup. I look at the lake. The green is spreading. We're 10 minutes past Vermilion when my phone starts blowing up. "Frank, Station 4, Station 6, Emergency Coordinator." I ignore all of them. Danny's scrolling through his phone, reading something. "Dad, there's like a million news alerts about the lake." "Don't read those right now. It says 3 people died in Toledo from touching the water." He looks up at me. "Is that why you picked me up?" I could lie, tell him it's fine, just a precaution, nothing to worry about. But Danny's 12, not 6. He's smart enough to know when I'm bullshitting him. Yeah, I say, that's why. But I didn't touch the water. Counselor Jeff made us stay away from it all day. Counselor Jeff probably saved his life. Good, I say. Keep it that way. We're passing through Avon Lake now. The beaches here are packed. People everywhere. Umbrellas, coolers, kids in the water. Nobody knows yet. The advisory hasn't reached them, or they're ignoring it. The water's still that weird bright green, but people are swimming in it anyway. I want to stop, want to pull over and scream at them to get out. But what am I going to do? Run up and down the beach yelling about organisms and satellite imagery? They'll think I'm crazy. My phone rings again. Frank, 4th time. I answer. Tom, where are you? Leaving Cleveland. Heading to Coshocton with Danny. Meeting Beth there. I need you back at Station 7. Now, we're losing pressure on the east side distribution system. Something's blocking the main feed from the intake. Call Midwest Water Solutions. I did. They're 3 hours out, and they're saying they won't send crews near the lake without EPA safety clearance, which we don't have because EPA's saying they need 48 hours for toxin analysis. Frank's voice is tight, stressed. Tom, we're about to lose water service to 80,000 homes. 80,000 homes. Gordon Square, Detroit Shoreway, Edgewater. Danny and I live in Edgewater. Apartment building on West 73rd, 2 blocks from the lake. 2 blocks from where that green biomass is probably heading right now. Call Midwest Water Solutions. I did. They're 3 hours out, and they're saying they won't send crews near the lake without EPA safety clearance, which we don't have because EPA's saying they need 48 hours for toxin analysis. Frank's voice is tight, stressed. Tom, we're about to lose water service to 80,000 homes. 80,000 homes. Gordon Square, Detroit Shoreway, Edgewater. My apartment building was in Edgewater, 2 blocks from the lake, 2 blocks from where that green biomass is heading right now. Frank, I can't come back. Danny's showing symptoms. Silence on the line. Then, symptoms. Sore throat, excessive thirst. He drank camp water this morning, from their tap. Camp's well system draws from groundwater near the bay. Jesus, Tom. I'm taking him south, away from the lake. If he starts swelling, if he's really infected, I need to be somewhere away from population centers when it happens. When it happens, Frank repeats, not if. The Toledo victims had 45 minutes from skin contact to symptoms. Danny drank it 6 hours ago. I don't know what the timeline is for ingestion. I look at Danny. He's rubbing his throat, looking uncomfortable. But I'm not taking chances. Understood. Go. Get him safe. I'll handle Station 7. Frank, if the intake's clogged, you need to shut it down. Don't risk the distribution infrastructure trying to keep it running. Mayor's office says we keep running. Frank, I know, but those are my orders. We keep running until we physically can't run anymore. I'm passing through Brooklyn now, south of Cleveland. The traffic's getting heavier. Other people evacuating. Everyone heading away from the lake. Be careful, I tell Frank. You too. He hangs up. Danny's looking at me. Dad, am I sick? How do I answer that? How do I tell my 12-year-old son that he might be infected with an organism that makes people swell up and burst? We're going to meet Mom, I say. Get you checked out. You're probably fine. Just a sore throat. But you're worried. Yeah, I'm worried. He's quiet for a minute. Then, the news said people died. In Toledo, it showed pictures. Don't look at those pictures. I already did. Before you picked me up. They were swollen. like balloons. And then he stops. Is that what's going to happen to me? I want to lie. Want to tell him no, of course not, you're going to be fine. But Danny's 12. He deserves the truth. I don't know, I say. The people in Toledo touched the bloom. You didn't touch it. You drank water that might have been contaminated. That might be different. We don't know. How long until we know? Soon. I checked the time. 2:37 p.m. Danny drank that camp water around 10 a.m. 4.5 hours ago. If he's infected, symptoms should be showing by now. The sore throat and thirst might just be symptoms. Or they might be psychosomatic. Fear making him think he's sick. Or they might be the beginning of something worse. My phone rings. Beth. Tom, where are you? Is this Thomas Brennan? Yeah. This is Dr. Rachel Feinberg, CDC Emergency Response Division. I'm calling about the biomass samples you reported to Ohio EPA this morning. CDC. That was fast. You get my samples already? No. We're mobilizing based on NOAA satellite data and the Toledo medical reports. Mr. Brennan, I need you to describe exactly what you observed at your water treatment facility. I describe it again. The cohesion, the structure, the luminescence. The way it maintains integrity under turbulence. The way it's moving, actively moving, not just drifting with currents. And you observed this at what time? First samples pulled at 10:47 a.m., but I've been monitoring the intake feeds since 6 a.m. The biomass density increased steadily throughout the morning. Increased how much? Exponentially. We cleared the filters at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. Each time we pulled 3 times more biomass than the previous clearing. At that rate, we'll be pulling, I do the math in my head, we'll be pulling 40, 50 pounds per hour by this evening. Dr. Feinberg is quiet for a moment. I can hear her typing. Mr. Brennan, are you currently at your facility? No, I'm en route. 5 minutes out. When you arrive, I need you to collect additional samples. Comprehensive samples, surface water, depth samples if possible, filter biomass at multiple stages. Document everything. Photos, videos, timestamps. I can do that. Good. Because Mr. Brennan, I'm going to be direct with you. The Toledo cases aren't skin irritation. They're not allergic reactions. The victims are exhibiting systemic tissue saturation. Systemic tissue saturation. Their bodies are absorbing water at an accelerated rate. Cellular level. One victim gained 18 pounds in 2 hours. Another's lungs filled with fluid despite no water aspiration. They're drowning on land. I'm pulling into Station 7's parking lot. The building looks normal. Same gray concrete, same chain link fence, same Cleveland Water Department trucks parked in the lot. What's causing it? Ask. We don't know. But Mr. Brennan, those 3 victims? They all had direct skin contact with the bloom. Touched it, swam in it, one of them fell off a dock into it. Average time from exposure to symptom onset was 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Danny was at that camp for 6 days. The bloom reached his cabin's beach this morning. My son was at a camp on Sandusky Bay. I say, the bloom was 30 feet from his cabin. Did he have any water contact? He says no. His counselor kept the kids away from the water. Then he should be fine, but monitor him. Any unusual swelling, respiratory difficulty, excessive thirst, you call 911 immediately. I'm out of the truck, walking toward the building. What about the bloom itself? EPA's saying it's an organism now. That's preliminary classification based on behavioral observation. We won't know more until we have tissue samples and genetic analysis. But Mr. Brennan, between you and me, I've worked waterborne disease outbreaks for 12 years. I've seen cholera, cryptosporidium, flesh-eating bacteria. I've never seen anything that exhibits coordinated movement patterns across 40 square miles of open water. So what is it? That's what we're trying to figure out. Collect those samples. I'll have a courier pick them up within 2 hours. This is my direct number. She rattles off a phone number. I save it in my contacts. Call me if anything changes. Anything at all. She hangs up. I'm standing outside Station 7. Frank's inside, probably watching the pressure gauges drop, probably fielding calls from residents wondering why their water's running brown or not running at all. I head inside. The control room is chaos. Frank's on 2 phones at once. The emergency coordinator, Jim Hoskins, 58, beer gut, always complaining about his knees, is updating the status board. Every intake station from Toledo to Cleveland shows elevated biomass levels. 3 stations are already offline. Tom. Frank hangs up one phone, keeps the other pressed to his ear. Station 4's completely clogged. They're offline. Station 6 is running on auxiliary filtration only. We're the last major intake still operational. What's our current flow rate? 60% capacity and dropping. The biomass is accumulating faster than we can clear it. I head to the prefiltration tanks. The water coming in from the intake pipe is thick. Not just tinted green, actually thick, like somebody's pumping gelatin through the system. The filters are clogged solid. I can see the biomass pressed against the screens, that same rubbery texture from this morning. But now it's moving. Not just pulsing, actually moving. The mass is spreading across the filter screen, finding gaps, pushing through. I watch a section of it squeeze through a half-inch gap in the screen seal, comes out the other side and immediately starts spreading, reaching toward the next filter stage. Frank, I call out. Get in here. He comes in, still on the phone, sees the filter, stops talking. Yeah. I'll call you back, he says into the phone. Hangs up. Is that thing? It's moving, I say. Active movement. Deliberate. That's not possible. Look at it. We stand there for a minute, watching this gelatinous green mass crawl across the filter housing. It's slow, maybe an inch every 30 seconds, but it's definitely moving. Not flowing with water pressure. Moving. Frank pulls out his phone, takes a video. EPA needs to see this. CDC needs to see this. I'm already collecting samples, using the lab equipment to scrape biomass from 3 different filter stages. The stuff resists being removed. I have to use a metal spatula, scraping hard. Comes away in sheets like peeling dried glue. Dr. Feinberg's courier arrives 90 minutes later. Some guy in a hazmat suit driving an unmarked white van. He takes my samples without speaking, loads them into a portable cooler marked with biohazard symbols. He's gone in 3 minutes. By 4 p.m., Station 7 is running at 40% capacity. By 5 p.m., we're at 25%. The biomass is winning. Frank's getting calls from the mayor's office now, from emergency management, from neighborhood associations on the east side demanding to know when their water's coming back. We need to shut down the intake, I tell Frank. This stuff is going to clog the entire system. We shut down now, we can at least preserve the treatment infrastructure. If we shut down, 200,000 people lose water service. If we don't shut down, this biomass spreads through the distribution network and we lose the entire system, possibly permanently. Frank's looking at the status board. Every intake station west of us is already offline. We're the only thing standing between Cleveland's east side and a complete water crisis. We keep running, Frank says, until we physically cannot run anymore. Frank, those are my orders from the city. We keep running. My phone rings. Beth. Tom, what the hell is going on? She sounds scared. The news is saying people are dying. They're showing footage from Toledo. There's bodies in the streets. The water. People are swelling up and bursting. The news is showing it. Beth, calm down. Is Danny okay? He's fine. He's here. But Tom, the news is saying it's spreading. They're saying it's in Cleveland now. I look at the filter screens, at the green biomass crawling through our system. Yeah, it's here. Should I evacuate? Should I take Danny and leave? Where would she go? How far would she need to drive to get away from a bloom that's covering 200 square miles and growing? No, stay inside. Don't drink tap water. Use bottled water. And Beth, if you see any of that green stuff near your building, you get Danny and you drive south. Akron, Columbus, doesn't matter. Just south, away from the lake. You're scaring me. Good. I'm scared too. Just keep Danny inside. I'll call you in a few hours. I hang up. Frank's watching the pressure gauges. 15% capacity. The east side of Cleveland is about to run dry. Tom, Frank says quietly, what the hell are we dealing with? I don't have an answer. Dr. Feinberg said coordinated movement patterns. Noah said organism. The stuff on my filter screens is actively crawling through my equipment. I don't know, I say, but it's not algae anymore. The emergency alert comes through at 6:17 p.m. All our phones go off at once. The loud warning tone, the message in all caps. Emergency alert. No contact with Lake Erie water. All beaches closed. Avoid shoreline areas. Seek emergency medical attention if exposure occurs. 3 hours too late. The beaches were packed when I drove through Avon Lake. All those families, all those kids. 45 minutes from exposure to symptoms. My phone rings again. Dr. Feinberg. Mr. Brennan, we've analyzed your samples. Preliminary results. This is unlike anything we've seen. The cellular structure is partially cyanobacteria, but there's no other word for it, it's been modified, engineered, or evolved. We're seeing genetic markers that shouldn't exist in natural organisms. What does that mean? It means this isn't a natural bloom. This is either industrial contamination triggering rapid mutation or, she pauses, or someone created this. Created it? Who would create something like this? We don't know, but Mr. Brennan, the samples you sent show active protein synthesis. This organism is growing, actively growing, not just reproducing, actually growing in mass. The sample you collected at 10:47 a.m. has increased in volume by 30% since you collected it. I look at the filter screens. The biomass is everywhere now, coating every surface, and it's still coming in. Gallons per minute, tons per hour. How do we stop it? Ask. We're working on that. But Mr. Brennan, I need you to understand something. Based on current growth rates and movement patterns, this organism will cover the entire western Lake Erie Basin by midnight tonight, the central basin by tomorrow morning, the eastern basin, where Cleveland is, by tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening, 24 hours. What happens then? Ask. Dr. Feinberg is quiet for a long moment. We don't know, but the Toledo victims, the ones who swelled up, their bodies burst, Mr. Brennan. The cellular pressure became too high. Their skin split open. And when they burst, the fluid that came out, it tested positive for the same organism. They didn't just drown. They became part of it, part of the bloom. Station 7 goes offline at 8:43 p.m. Complete system failure. The biomass has clogged every filter, every pipe, every valve between the lake intake and the treatment facility. Frank makes the call to shut down before the pressure ruptures something critical. 200,000 people on Cleveland's east side just lost water service. I'm standing in the parking lot when the emergency broadcast comes through the radio in someone's car. The voice is trying to sound calm, controlled. is not working. Reports of mass casualties in Lorraine, Sandusky, and Toledo areas. Residents are advised to avoid all contact with Lake Erie water. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Hospitals in affected areas are at capacity. The National Guard has been mobilized. If you or someone you know has had contact with the affected water, seek immediate medical attention. Symptoms include rapid swelling, respiratory distress, and extreme thirst. This is not a test. This is an emergency broadcast. Frank's on the phone with someone from the mayor's office. He's getting yelled at. I can hear it from 15 feet away. Something about abandoning our posts, about dereliction of duty. My phone buzzes. Text from Beth. Danny's asking for you. He's scared. When are you coming home? I don't know how to answer that. Home is Edgewater, 2 blocks from the lake. The blooms probably reached the Cleveland shoreline by now. If Dr. Feinberg's timeline is right, it'll be covering every beach, every marina, every inch of shoreline by morning. Another text from Beth. News is saying the bloom reached Edgewater Park. Tom, that's a mile from your apartment. Less than a mile. My apartment building, the Shoreline, terrible name now, is on West 73rd. Edgewater Park starts at West 72nd. The blooms already passed my building. I text back, stay where you are. Do not go near the lake. I'll be there soon. Jim Hoskins, the emergency coordinator, comes out of the building. His face is white, shaking. They're reporting it on the scanner. People in Lakewood are seeing the biomass on the beaches. It's moving inland. Not fast, but it's moving. Couple inches per minute. Couple inches per minute. Doesn't sound like much, but couple inches per minute for an hour is 10 feet. For 6 hours is 60 feet. By morning, it could be 100 yards inland. And when it reaches people, when they touch it, breathe it, get any of it on their skin, they have 45 minutes before the swelling starts. We need to evacuate, Jim says. Get everyone away from the shoreline. Get them south. Frank hangs up his phone. Mayor's office says we stay at our posts. Keep trying to get the systems back online. With what? I'm looking at the building, at the tanks and pipes and filters that are packed solid with biomass. We'd need to flush the entire system, replace every filter. That's weeks of work with a full crew and industrial equipment. We don't have weeks. We don't have days. Mayor says. Frank, the mayor's office is downtown, 3 miles from the lake. They're not seeing what we're seeing. They don't understand what this thing is doing. I'm pulling out my phone, opening the video I took of the biomass moving through the filter. Look, this is from 6 hours ago. This stuff is alive. It's not just contamination. It's an organism that's actively spreading, actively hunting for organic material. Hunting? Jim's voice cracks. What do you mean hunting? I don't want to say it. Don't want to make it real. But Dr. Feinberg's words keep echoing. They became part of it. Part of the bloom. The people who died in Toledo, I say slowly, their bodies burst. And when they burst, they spread the organism. They became vectors. Frank's staring at me. You're saying this thing uses human bodies as incubators. I'm saying Dr. Feinberg from CDC told me the fluid from the Toledo victims tested positive for the organism. I'm saying every person who touches this bloom becomes part of the bloom. And I'm saying it's moving toward Cleveland right now, where 8 million people live within 20 miles of the shoreline. The scanner on Jim's belt crackles. Dispatch voice. Units respond to Edgewater Park. Reports of multiple casualties. Exposure to lake contamination. EMT requested. Fire department requested. Hazmat requested. Multiple casualties. Edgewater Park. 1 mile from my apartment. Less than 5 miles from where Beth and Danny are right now. I'm running to my truck before Jim finishes writing down the dispatch information. Tom, where are you going? Frank calls after me. Getting my family. You can't leave. Station's offline, Frank. There's nothing left to operate. I'm getting Danny and Beth and we're driving south until we run out of gas. I'm in my truck, engine on, pulling out of the parking lot. Frank's standing there in the middle of the parking lot, phone in his hand, looking lost. Jim's on his scanner, listening to more dispatch calls, more casualties, more exposure reports. The radio in my truck is all emergency broadcasts now. Every station, they're calling it the Bloom, capital letters, like it's a proper noun, like it's a name. The Bloom has now been confirmed in Cleveland, Lorain, Ashtabula, and Erie, Pennsylvania. Federal emergency declaration is in effect for all counties bordering Lake Erie. Residents are advised to evacuate immediately. Travel south on all available routes. Do not approach the lake. Do not touch any green substance. Do not. I'm on Highway 2, heading east toward Lakewood. The traffic is insane. Everyone's evacuating at once. It's 9 p.m. on a Friday night and Highway 2 looks like rush hour. Everyone heading south, away from the lake. I call Beth. She answers on the first ring. Tom, I'm packing. We're leaving. Good. Pack enough for a week. Clothes, medicines, anything Danny needs. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Where are we going? I don't know. Columbus? Pittsburgh? Somewhere that's not near Lake Erie. What about you? Your apartment. My apartment. My clothes, my photos, my furniture, my life. All of it 2 blocks from water that's currently crawling inland at 2 inches per minute. I'm leaving it, I say, meeting you at your place. Then we all drive together. Okay, hurry. The traffic's not moving. I'm stuck behind a Honda Odyssey full of kids. They're crying. The mom's on the phone yelling at someone. Everyone's horn is honking. Nobody's moving. I pull onto the shoulder, start driving on the grass median. Illegal. Don't care. A cop pulls up behind me, lights flashing, then sees where I'm headed and pulls onto the shoulder too. We're all evacuating. The rules don't matter anymore. My phone rings. Unknown number. I answer. Mr. Brennan, this is Dr. Feinberg. I need you to listen carefully. We've identified the source of the genetic modification. I'm weaving through traffic, running a red light, Edgewater's ahead. I can see the apartment buildings near the lake. What source? Industrial discharge from Cleveland electroplating on the Cuyahoga River. They've been dumping heavy metals and chemical waste into the river for 18 months. EPA knew about it. We had inspectors monitoring the discharge levels. But the company, they falsified their reports. The actual contamination levels were 40 times higher than reported. EPA knew about it. You're telling me EPA let this happen? The company was negotiating a compliance agreement. EPA was giving them time to upgrade their filtration systems. Nobody predicted this outcome. The contamination mixed with agricultural runoff, combined with elevated water temperatures, and the cyanobacteria mutated. Not gradually, all at once. Sometime in the last 72 hours, the entire western Lake Erie bacterial population transformed into this organism. EPA knew. They knew there was illegal dumping. They knew about the contamination, and they let it continue because the company was negotiating. How many people knew about the contamination? Dozens. EPA Regional Office, State Environmental Board, probably executives at Cleveland Electroplating. But Mr. Brennan, nobody could have predicted. Nobody predicted that dumping toxic waste into a lake full of bacteria might create something dangerous? That's your defense. Dr. Feinberg is quiet. Mr. Brennan, I understand you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm terrified. Because you're telling me that my government knew about this contamination and did nothing. And now that bloom is heading toward my son. We're doing everything we can. You're 48 hours behind. You've been behind since the beginning. I hang up. I'm pulling into Lakewood now. Clifton Boulevard. Beth Street. Her duplex is lit up, every light on. She's standing on the porch, 2 suitcases and a duffel bag next to her. Danny's there too, backpack on, looking scared. I screech into the driveway. Beth's already loading bags into the back seat. We need to go, she says. Now. The news is saying it's spreading faster. The bloom reached Rocky River Park 20 minutes ago. That's 3 miles from here. 3 miles. At 2 inches per minute, that's... My brain does the math automatically. That's 6 hours until it reaches this house. Maybe less if it's accelerating. Danny climbs into the back seat. Dad, what's happening? How do I explain this to a 12-year-old? How do I tell him that the lake he's grown up near, the lake where we've gone fishing and swimming and skipping stones, has turned into something that kills people? The lake got contaminated. I say, we're leaving until it's safe. But those people in Toledo, the news showed them. Don't think about that. We're going to be fine. We're leaving now. Beth's in the passenger seat. Her hands are shaking. Tom, where are we going? South, away from the lake. We'll figure out the details once we're on the road. I'm backing out of the driveway when my phone rings again. Frank. Tom, it's bad. Really bad. The bloom reached Edgewater Park 40 minutes ago. First responders found. His voice breaks. They found people. Dozens of people. They were at the beach when it hit. Kids, Tom. Families. They're swollen. Bursting. The biomass is spreading from the bodies. It's using them. Every body becomes a new source. Frank, I'm evacuating. You should too. I know. I'm going. But Tom, before I go, you need to know something. I got a call from the EPA regional director. Off the record. He wanted me to know that they've been monitoring Cleveland electroplating for 18 months. They had documentation of illegal discharge levels. They chose not to shut them down because, and this is a direct quote, economic impact to the region would be significant. Economic impact. They chose jobs over safety. They chose profit over people. And now people are dying. Hundreds, maybe thousands. Frank, get out of there. Drive south. Don't stop until you're clear. Yeah, you too. And Tom? I'm sorry. We should have shut down the intake earlier. Should have refused to keep pumping contaminated water. Not your fault. Feels like it is. He hangs up. I'm driving south now. Highway 71. Bumper-to-bumper traffic. Thousands of cars, all heading away from the lake. Beth's on her phone, reading news updates. They're saying it's not just Cleveland, she says quietly. It's the entire southern shore of Lake Erie. Buffalo, Erie, Conneaut. The bloom reached all of them at the same time, like it's coordinated. Danny leans forward from the back seat. Is this like a zombie thing? It's not zombies, Beth says quickly, too quickly. But he's not wrong. The bloom infects people. They swell up. They burst. The infection spreads. It's exactly like a zombie outbreak, except the zombie is water instead of people. Except it's worse than zombies. Because water goes everywhere. Water's in pipes, in wells, in rain, in rivers. You can avoid zombie bites. You can't avoid water. My phone buzzes. Text from Jim Hoskins. Station 7 intake just registered activity. Something's moving through the pipes. Coming from the lake. Tom, I think the bloom is in the distribution system. The distribution system. The pipes that carry water to homes, schools, hospitals, businesses. If the bloom's in the pipes, then it's already in Cleveland. Already in every building connected to city water. I text back, get out, evacuate now. He responds, already gone, heading to Columbus. Good luck. Good luck. We're going to need it. Beth's reading something on her phone. Her face goes white. Tom, look at this. She shows me her phone. News footage from a drone over Lake Erie. The entire western basin is green. Solid green. No water visible. Just that thick, gelatinous biomass. And it's moving. The whole mass is moving east, toward Cleveland, toward Buffalo, toward every city on the southern shore. The footage zooms in. You can see people in the bloom. Bodies. Floating. Swollen. Some of them are bursting as the camera watches. The biomass spreads from them like ripples, growing, expanding. Turn it off, I say. Beth turns off her phone. Danny's crying in the back seat. Quiet crying. Trying to be brave. We're past Cleveland Hopkins Airport now. The traffic's thinning out. People are taking different routes. Some heading to Columbus, some to Pittsburgh, some to Cincinnati. I don't know where we're going. Just south, away from the lake. Tom, Beth says quietly, what if it's not just Lake Erie? I've been thinking the same thing. Lake Erie connects to Lake Huron via the Detroit River. Lake Huron connects to Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan connects to all the way to Chicago. And all of them drain eventually to the Atlantic via the St. Lawrence. If this bloom can spread, if it can grow and move and infect, then it's not just Lake Erie we need to worry about. It's the entire Great Lakes system. 45 million people get their drinking water from the Great Lakes. My phone rings one more time. Dr. Feinberg again. Mr. Brennan, are you evacuating? Yes, on Highway 71, 20 miles south of Cleveland. Good. Keep going. Don't stop. The bloom's growth rate is exceeding our models. It's not just spreading, it's accelerating. We estimate complete coverage of Lake Erie within 12 hours. And Mr. Brennan, she pauses. We've detected movement in Lake Huron. Early stage, very preliminary, but it's there. How is that possible? Lake Huron's connected to Erie through the Detroit River. That's 40 miles of river current flowing north. We don't know. The organism might be releasing spores, or it might be traveling through water systems, through pipes and canals. Or, she stops. Or what? Or it's not one organism. It might be multiple organisms communicating somehow, coordinating. We're seeing synchronized movement patterns across 300 miles of shoreline. That shouldn't be possible unless... Unless what? Unless it's intelligent. We make it to Akron before the traffic stops us completely. Highway 71 is gridlocked. Nobody's moving. Thousands of cars packed bumper to bumper, engines running, people standing outside their vehicles looking north toward Cleveland, toward the green glow on the horizon. The bloom is bioluminescent at night. That's what the news is saying. The entire Lake Erie shoreline is glowing green in the darkness. You can see it from space now. Satellite footage shows a bright green arc stretching from Toledo to Buffalo. It's 11:47 p.m. We've been driving for almost 3 hours. We've moved maybe 40 miles. Danny's asleep in the back seat finally. Cried himself out around 30 minutes ago. Beth's staring at her phone, reading news updates. Her face is lit up by the screen, blue light making her look sick. They're saying Cleveland's water system is compromised, she says quietly. The bloom's in the pipes. It reached downtown 20 minutes ago. People are reporting green water coming from their taps. Green water from the taps. That means the bloom traveled through 10 miles of underground pipe in less than 4 hours. That means it's not just spreading on the surface. It's in the infrastructure now. My phone rings. Frank again. Tom, are you watching the news? No, we're stuck in traffic. What's happening? The bloom reached downtown Cleveland. It's coming up through the sewers, storm drains, basement flooding. Anywhere there's water connected to the lake, it's coming through. And Tom, the people, anyone who touches it, they're swelling up within minutes now. Not 45 minutes anymore. Minutes. The organism evolved. It's faster. How fast? News is showing footage from Tower City. Woman touched contaminated water from a drinking fountain. Started swelling immediately. Burst 3 minutes later. Tom, the entire downtown it's like a war zone. Bodies everywhere. And every body that bursts spreads more of it. I look at Danny in the back seat, still asleep. He was at that camp for 6 days. The bloom was 30 feet from his cabin. What if he touched it? What if some of it got on his shoes, his clothes, his skin? What if he's incubating it right now? Tom, you still there? Yeah, I'm here. Listen, I need to tell you something about Station 7. After you left, after we shut down, the biomass started coming back through the intake pipes. Not just clogging them, coming through them, against the current, against gravity. It was climbing up the pipes, Tom. Climbing. That's not possible. I know, but I saw it. Jim saw it. We both watched it happen. The bloom is actively hunting for sources. It's not just spreading passively. It's seeking out population centers. Population centers. Places with lots of people. Lots of organic material to infect and convert. Frank, where are you now? Columbus. Emergency shelter at Ohio State. But Tom, Columbus is only 100 miles from Lake Erie. If this thing keeps spreading at its current rate, if it keeps accelerating, Columbus could be compromised by tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon. That's 14 hours from now. We need to keep moving south, I say. Get ahead of it. Tom, there's nowhere to go. You understand that, right? Lake Erie connects to all the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes connect to the Mississippi watershed through canals. The Mississippi connects to the entire continental water system. If this organism keeps spreading, keeps evolving, there's nowhere in North America that won't be affected. He's right. I know he's right, but I can't think about that. Can't think about the scale. I need to focus on Danny, on Beth, on getting them somewhere safe. I have to go, Frank. Keep me updated. I hang up. Beth's looking at me. What did he say? The blooms in downtown Cleveland, coming up through the water system. Our apartment, Beth says. It's gone, isn't it? Our apartment, her duplex, all our stuff, our lives. Yeah, it's gone. Danny stirs in the back seat, wakes up. Are we there yet? Not yet, kiddo. Go back to sleep. I'm thirsty. Beth reaches for the water bottles we packed. Stops, looks at the bottle. Is this safe? The water bottle, filled from her tap in Lakewood. Before we knew the bloom was in the distribution system. Before we knew it could travel through pipes. I don't know, I say honestly. Dad, I'm really thirsty. Danny's voice is whiny, desperate, that deep thirst that comes from crying. Beth's holding the water bottle, looking at it, looking at Danny, looking at me. What do we do? There's a gas station up ahead. See the sign? We'll get bottled water there. Sealed bottles, still sealed from the factory. That's a mile away and traffic's not moving. Then we walk. We get out of the truck. Danny grabs his backpack. Beth takes her purse. We start walking up the highway shoulder, past hundreds of cars, thousands of people. Everyone sitting in traffic, going nowhere. Some people are drinking from bottles. Some are eating snacks from their cars. Some are just sitting there, staring north at the green glow. One woman is swelling. I see it as we pass her minivan. She's in the driver's seat, and her face is puffy, bloated. Her hands are swollen around the steering wheel. She's making this sound, this wet, gurgling sound. Don't look, I tell Danny. Pull him past the van. Dad, that lady? Don't look. We're 50 feet past the van when we hear it. The burst, like a water balloon popping, screaming. The people around the van scatter, running. Green fluid spraying everywhere. Beth grabs Danny, pulls him close. Keep walking. Don't stop. Don't look back. The gas station is a marathon. Parking lot full of cars. People everywhere, fighting over bottled water. The shelves inside are empty, completely stripped. Someone's yelling about price gouging. Someone else is crying. We need water, Beth says. They're out. Then we find another store, another station, something. We keep walking. Highway 71 stretches south into the darkness. No more gas stations visible. No more lights. Just cars and people and that green glow getting brighter behind us. My phone rings. Dr. Feinberg. Mr. Brennan, what's your current location? Highway 71, somewhere between Cleveland and Akron. Traffic stopped. We're on foot. On foot? She sounds horrified. Mr. Brennan, you need to find shelter immediately. Enclosed shelter. Away from any water sources. Why? What's happening? The bloom's reproductive cycle has accelerated. We're tracking exponential growth. Every infected body creates enough biomass to infect 10 more people. Those 10 create 100. The 100 create 1,000. We're seeing geometric progression. And Mr. Brennan, her voice drops. It started raining in Cleveland 15 minutes ago. Rain. Water falling from the sky. Water that's been evaporating from Lake Erie all day. Water that's full of bloom organisms. The rain is contaminated? We don't have confirmation yet. But Mr. Brennan, if the bloom has aerosolized, if it's in the water cycle, then rain becomes a vector. Every raindrop becomes infectious. I look up at the sky. Clear stars. No clouds. But clouds are forming to the north. Over Cleveland. Over the lake. Dark clouds lit from below by that green bioluminescence. How long until the storm front reaches us? Current models say 2 to 3 hours. But that's based on normal weather patterns. We don't know if the bloom is affecting atmospheric conditions. You're saying the bloom might be controlling the weather? I'm saying we don't know what this organism is capable of. It's evolving faster than we can study it. Every hour it develops new capabilities, new strategies. Mr. Brennan, this is unlike anything in recorded biological history. The clouds are moving south, toward us. I can see them now, dark masses against the stars, lit from within by that sick green glow. We need to find shelter, I tell Beth. Where? I look around. We're on a highway in the middle of nowhere. Cars everywhere, but no buildings. No structures except... There, half a mile ahead, an overpass. Highway 271 crossing over 71. Concrete and steel, enclosed underneath. There, I point, the overpass. Get underneath it before the rain starts. We run. Beth's in heels, stupid evacuation footwear, so she's stumbling. Danny's got his backpack bouncing on his shoulders. I'm carrying Beth's purse and my work bag. Other people see us running, see where we're heading. They start running too. Hundreds of people all converging on the overpass. We make it underneath just as the first drops start falling. The overpass is packed. Must be 200 people here. Families, couples, solo drivers. Everyone pressed together under 40 feet of concrete. The rain starts as a drizzle. Light drops hitting the pavement. Then heavier. Then pouring. Sheets of water coming down. The rain is green. Not bright green. Faint green. Barely visible in the darkness. But definitely green. And it glows where it hits the ground. Someone near the edge of the overpass reaches out. Lets the rain hit his hand. Curious. Stupid. Don't touch it, I yell. Too late. The rain hits his palm. He pulls his hand back, looks at it, laughs. It's just water, man. You're all freaking out over nothing. His hand starts swelling. The skin stretches, distends. He's staring at it, not understanding. What's happening? What's? His hand bursts. Green fluid sprays across the pavement, across 3 other people standing near him. They start screaming, wiping at their clothes, their faces. Beth pulls Danny back, away from the edge, away from the rain. Everyone stay away from the edges, someone yells. Don't let the rain touch you. But the overpass isn't completely covered. There are gaps in the concrete, drainage holes, water's dripping through, green glowing water. A woman gets hit by a drip, shoulder of her shirt. She tears the shirt off immediately, throws it away from her. But her shoulder's already swelling, the skin turning translucent. You can see the fluid building up underneath. She knows what's coming. She's backing away from everyone. Hands up. Stay away from me. Don't let it touch you when I... She bursts. The spray hits 6 people. They scatter, screaming, trying to wipe it off, but it's already absorbing through their clothes, their skin. They start swelling. Danny's crying. Dad, I want to go home. I know, kiddo. I know. Dad, my throat hurts. My blood turns to ice. What? My throat has been hurting since we left Lakewood, and I'm so thirsty, like, really thirsty. Beth's staring at him, and me, her eyes wide. Danny, I say carefully, when's the last time you drank water? At camp, this morning before you picked me up. Counselor Jeff gave us water bottles before the activity period. This morning, at camp, where the bloom was 30 feet from his cabin, where it had been creeping up the beach all morning. Did you touch the lake water at all? Even by accident? No. Counselor Jeff wouldn't let us near it. Danny coughs. His throat sounds wet. Dad, something's wrong. My chest feels tight. Beth grabs my arm, squeezes hard. Tom, he's swelling. I look at Danny's face. His cheeks are puffy. His neck is thicker. His eyes are starting to bulge. No, I say. No, he didn't touch the water. He said he didn't. The water bottles. Beth's voice is shaking. At camp, where did they fill the water bottles? The water bottles. The camp. Camp Woodland. Right on Sandusky Bay. The bay that was already covered in bloom this morning when I picked Danny up. The camp's water system, it must have drawn from the bay, or from wells connected to groundwater near the bay. And when Counselor Jeff filled those water bottles this morning. Oh God, I say. Danny's swelling faster now. His hands are bloating, his arms, his chest expanding under his Cleveland Guardians t-shirt. The shirt stretching, seams straining. Dad, it hurts. Dad, what's happening to me? I grab him, pull him close. He's my son. He's 12 years old. He likes traditional wings and video games and complaining about homework. He's my son. It's okay, I lie. You're going to be okay. Beth's sobbing. Tom, we have to do something. There has to be something. There's nothing. Dr. Feinberg said there's no treatment, no cure. Once the organism gets inside you, once it starts the cellular saturation process, there's nothing that stops it. The victims in Toledo, they all burst within hours of exposure. Danny drank that water 12 hours ago. Dad, I can't breathe right. His lungs are filling with fluid. His chest is swelling. I can see it happening. Can see my son transforming into something else, into a vector, into part of the bloom. I'm here, I say. I'm right here, Danny. I'm not leaving you. Beth's backing away. She knows what's coming. Tom, we have to. We have to get away from him when he... No, Tom, when he bursts, the fluid will. I'm not leaving him. Dad, Danny's voice is changing, wet, gurgling. Dad, I'm scared. I know, I'm here. I'm right here with you. His skin is stretching now, transparent. I can see the green fluid beneath, building up, pressure increasing. His body can't hold it much longer. Other people under the overpass are backing away from us, creating space. They know what's about to happen. They've seen it happen to dozens of others already tonight. Beth's 20 feet away now, pressed against the far wall of the overpass, crying, Tom, please, please come away from him. I can't. He's 12 years old. He's scared. He's dying. And I'm his father. Danny looks up at me. His eyes are bulging, but they're still his eyes. Still that brown color he got from Beth. Still my son. I love you, Dad. I love you too, kiddo. His skin splits, stomach first, then chest, then arms and legs, all at once. The pressure's too much. His body can't contain it anymore. Green fluid explodes outward, covers me completely, gallons of it, warm, thick, soaking through my clothes, my hair, my skin. I'm kneeling on the pavement. Danny's body is in front of me, empty, deflated, like a balloon that burst. His clothes are shredded. His face, what's left of his face, is still recognizable. The fluid on my skin is absorbing. I can feel it going through my clothes, through my skin, into my bloodstream, into my cells. I'm infected now, Beth screaming. Someone's pulling her back, dragging her away from me. She's fighting them, reaching for me, but they won't let her near me, won't let her get contaminated. Tom, she screams. Tom, no. I'm already swelling. I can feel it starting. My hands are getting puffy. My chest feels tight. That deep thirst hitting me. That need for water. I'm going to burst, just like Danny, just like those people in Toledo, just like everyone who's touched the bloom. And when I burst, my body will spread more of the organism, will infect more people. I stand up, walk toward the edge of the overpass, toward the rain, away from the crowd, away from Beth. Stay back. I tell everyone, don't come near me. They don't argue. I'm at the edge now. The rain is pouring down, green glowing rain, each drop adding more biomass to my infection, accelerating the process. My shirt is tight, stretching. I pull it off. My chest is swollen, distended. I look like I'm 9 months pregnant. The skin is translucent. I can see the fluid inside, green, glowing. Behind me, Beth is still screaming my name. I want to turn around, want to see her one more time, but I can't. Can't risk the spray hitting her when I burst. The pressure's building. My skin is stretching. Any second now. I think about Danny, about his face when he was scared, about him asking for Buffalo Wild Wings, about him sleeping in the back seat of the truck, still believing his dad could protect him. I couldn't protect him. The bloom was already inside him, already growing, and I didn't know, didn't see it, didn't save him. My skin splits. The world goes green. I wake up in a CDC containment facility outside Atlanta, 3 weeks after the overpass. They tell me I'm the first documented case of spontaneous bloom expulsion. Expulsion is their word for it. What happened to me under that overpass? I burst. My body ruptured. Green fluid went everywhere. But then, and they can't explain this, my body started regenerating. The torn skin knitting itself back together. The fluid reabsorbing. Within 6 hours, I was whole again. Changed but whole. The CDC doctors show me footage from the overpass. Security camera from a nearby building caught everything. They show me bursting. They show me collapsing. They show military hazmat teams arriving 3 hours later, finding me still alive, still breathing. They don't show me Danny. I don't ask. I'm in isolation. Glass walls, negative pressure airflow, armed guards outside. The doctors wear full hazmat suits when they come in to draw blood, take tissue samples, run their tests. Dr. Feinberg visits on day 17. She's the one who tells me what I am now. "You're producing bloom antibodies," she says through the intercom. "Your body successfully fought off the infection. More than that, you've incorporated aspects of the organism into your own cellular structure. You're immune, Mr. Brennan. Permanently immune." "Where's Beth?" asked. It's the first question I've asked in 17 days. "Where's my ex-wife?" "She's alive. She made it to Atlanta before the quarantine lines went up. She's been asking about you. Can I see her?" Dr. Feinberg looks at something off camera. Someone else in the room with her. "That's complicated." "Why is it complicated?" "Because you're not exactly human anymore, Mr. Brennan. Your blood contains active bloom organisms in symbiotic relationship with your cells. You're contagious. Anyone you touch, anyone exposed to your bodily fluids, will become infected. You're a walking vector." I look at my hands. They look normal. Skin the right color, fingers the right size. But when I focus, really focus, I can see it. A faint green glow under the skin, pulsing with my heartbeat. So I'm quarantined forever. We're working on treatments, ways to neutralize the bloom organisms in your system without killing you. But Mr. Brennan, I have to be honest, we don't know if that's possible. You might be this way permanently. Can I at least talk to Beth? They set up a video call. Beth's in a hotel room somewhere. She looks thin, exhausted. Her eyes are red. "Tom," her voice cracks. "They said you're alive. I saw you burst. I saw. I'm alive. They said you're infected, that you're producing the bloom inside your body." "Yeah, that's what they're saying." She's quiet for a long time. I can hear her breathing, can see her crying. "Danny's gone," she finally says. "He's really gone." "I know. The military cremated his body. CDC protocol. All victims had to be cremated immediately to prevent spread. They didn't even let me. I never got to." She breaks down completely. I want to reach through the screen, want to hold her, want to tell her it's going to be okay. But it's not going to be okay. Danny's dead. I'm infected. And Beth's alone. "I'm sorry," I say. "It's inadequate, meaningless, but it's all I have." "They're saying the bloom is everywhere now," Beth says when she can talk again. "All the Great Lakes, parts of the Mississippi, the St. Lawrence. They're saying 40 million people are dead or infected. 40 million, Tom. I've been in isolation, haven't seen the news, haven't seen what the bloom did after I went down." "Cleveland?" asked. "Gone. Detroit, Buffalo, Chicago, Milwaukee, all gone. The coastal cities are underwater. The bloom is 3 feet deep in downtown Cleveland." They showed footage. The buildings are still standing, but everything below the 3rd floor is submerged in that green stuff. And it's still growing. 3 feet deep. That means the bloom consumed everything at ground level. Every person, every animal, every organic thing. All of it converted into more biomass. How many people got out? Not enough. The rain accelerated everything. Once the bloom got into the water cycle, into the atmosphere, they're saying maybe 20% of the Great Lakes population made it south of the quarantine line. Everyone else either died or... She stops. "Or became part of it." "Yeah." We're quiet for a minute. I can hear people talking in the background on her end. Hotel staff, maybe. Other refugees. "Beth, I need to know. When I burst, Did any of it? Did it touch you? No. People pulled me back, held me away. I'm clean. They tested me 50 times. I'm clean. Her voice hardens, which means I watched you die without being able to touch you, without being able to hold you. Do you understand? I watched both of you die and I couldn't do anything. Couldn't touch either of you. I'm alive. Are you? They're saying you're not human anymore. They're saying you're more bloom than person now. That you'll never be able to leave containment. That you'll spend the rest of your life in a glass box. She's right. Dr. Feinberg confirmed it yesterday. I'm too contagious to release. Too valuable to euthanize. Too dangerous to touch. I'm sorry, I say again. Stop saying that. Sorry doesn't bring Danny back. Sorry doesn't fix this. She's crying again. They're saying EPA knew that Cleveland electroplating was dumping illegal waste for 18 months and EPA just let them. If they'd shut down the company, if they'd enforced their own regulations, none of this would have happened. Danny would still be alive. EPA knew. For 18 months, they documented the violations, sent warnings, negotiated compliance agreements. And the whole time, cyanobacteria in Lake Erie was mutating, evolving, becoming something that could kill 40 million people. There are lawsuits, Beth continues, class action suits against EPA, against Cleveland electroplating, against everyone who knew and didn't act. Not that it matters. You can't sue the dead. Most of the EPA regional office was in Cleveland. Most of the company executives were in Detroit. They're all gone. All gone. Consumed by the bloom they helped create. I have to go, Beth says. They're only giving me 10 minutes on this call. Something about limited bandwidth for quarantine communications. Will you call again? She looks at me through the camera. Really looks at me. I can see her trying to find Tom Brennan, her ex-husband, father of her son, trying to find the person she used to know. I don't know, she says honestly. I don't know if I can look at you without seeing Danny, without seeing him burst, without remembering that you were right there and you couldn't save him. Beth. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm so sorry. But I can't do this. The screen goes black. I'm alone again. Dr. Feinberg comes back on day 23. She's got news. We've been studying your cellular structure, the way the bloom organisms integrated with your human cells. We think we can replicate it. Replicate what? Your immunity, your transformation. If we can figure out how your body successfully incorporated the bloom instead of being consumed by it, we might be able to create a treatment, a way to make other infected individuals symbiotic instead of victims. You want to turn people into what I am. We want to save lives, Mr. Brennan. There are still pockets of infected individuals in the quarantine zones. People who were exposed but haven't burst yet. They're living on borrowed time. If we can give them what you have, symbiosis instead of death, we can save them. But they'll be like me, contagious, isolated. Yes, but alive. Alive, like I'm alive, living in a glass box, watching the world through cameras, never able to touch another human being for the rest of my life. And if they say no, ask, if they'd rather die human than live as whatever I am? Dr. Feinberg doesn't answer. They start extracting tissue samples the next day. Bone marrow, blood, skin, everything. They're building a treatment protocol, a way to force symbiosis. I ask about Beth twice more. They tell me she's relocated to a FEMA camp outside Asheville. She's safe. She hasn't called. On day 40, they show me satellite footage of Lake Erie. The entire lake is green, solid green. The bloom has consumed every drop of water, every fish, every organism. The shoreline extends 50 feet inland in some places. Cleveland's skyline rises from a sea of gelatinous biomass. It stopped growing, Dr. Feinberg says. The bloom reached its carrying capacity 2 weeks ago. Is stable now, not spreading, not shrinking, just existing. What about the other lakes? Huron is 70% covered. Michigan is 40%. Superior and Ontario are still mostly clear, but we're seeing bloom activity in connection channels. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time until the entire Great Lakes system is one giant organism. One massive bloom stretching from Minnesota to New York. What about the people? Ask. The ones still in the quarantine zones? Most are dead. The ones who aren't, she hesitates. They're adapting. Some of them, living on the bloom. Literally. The biomass is edible if prepared correctly. High protein, all essential nutrients. They're building rafts, structures on the surface, creating a new kind of society. A society living on the bloom that killed their families, their neighbors, their cities. And I'm supposed to help save them, I say. Give them my immunity so they can live as monsters. You're supposed to help them survive, Mr. Brennan. That's all any of us can do now. I look at my hands again, at the green glow under my skin, pulsing, alive. I'm not Tom Brennan anymore, not really. Tom Brennan died under that overpass when his sun burst, when Danny's infected blood soaked through his skin, when he chose to hold his dying child instead of saving himself. What I am now, I don't have a name for it. Human bloom hybrid, walking vector, living containment failure. Dr. Feinberg's team successfully synthesizes the treatment on day 60. They test it on 3 volunteers from the quarantine zones. 2 survive the transformation, 1 doesn't. The 2 survivors are moved to containment cells next to mine. I can see them through the glass. A woman in her 30s, teenage boy, both with that same green glow under their skin. We don't talk. What would we say? Welcome to immortal isolation. Congratulations on becoming a monster? On day 75, Beth calls again. She sounds different, harder. They're offering me the treatment, she says. The CDC treatment. Your treatment. Don't take it. Why not? Because you'll end up like me, in a box, forever. Tom, I'm living in a FEMA camp with 3,000 other refugees. We're drinking recycled water and eating military rations. There's no future here, no life, just waiting to die or waiting for the bloom to spread south and kill us all. At least you're human. What does that matter anymore? Humanity didn't save Danny. Humanity didn't stop the bloom. Humanity created this mess. EPA, Cleveland electroplating, everyone who knew and didn't act. Being human is what killed us. She's not wrong. If I take the treatment, she continues, I'll be immune. Contagious, sure, but immune. And they're saying immune individuals can live in the bloom zones safely, can go into Cleveland, Detroit, Buffalo, can salvage what's left, can try to rebuild. Rebuild what? Those cities are gone. Then build new ones. On the bloom. In the bloom. I don't know, Tom, but I can't live in this camp anymore. Can't spend every day remembering Danny, remembering everything we lost. I need to do something. Anything. Beth. I'm taking the treatment tomorrow. They said I could call you first. Say goodbye to the old me. I don't know if we'll see each other again. They're sending transformed individuals back into the bloom zones, separate from the uninfected population. So you'll become what I am, and we'll both spend the rest of our lives isolated from everyone we used to know. Yes, but at least we'll be alive. That has to count for something. Does it? I'm not sure anymore. I'm sorry about Danny, she says. I'm sorry I blamed you. You did everything you could. You stayed with him. You held him. That's more than most parents got to do. Most people died alone. He was scared. I know, but you were there. That matters. She's crying again. Quiet crying. I wish I'd been there. Wish I could have held him one more time. Me too. Goodbye, Tom. Goodbye, Beth. The screen goes black again. I sit in my containment cell. The green glow under my skin pulses with my heartbeat. In the next cell over, the teenage boy is doing push-ups, trying to maintain normalcy, trying to be human. Dr. Feinberg says they've transformed 50 people now. The survival rate is improving. Soon they'll start mass treatments. Thousands of people choosing symbiosis over death, choosing to become what I am. The Bloom human hybrids will inherit what's left of the world, will build their new society on the corpse of the old one, on the green biomass that consumed 40 million people. And somewhere in that biomass, in the 3 feet of gelatinous matter coating Cleveland streets, Danny's molecules still exist. His cells, his DNA, his atoms, all of it converted, all of it part of the Bloom now. I'll never visit his grave. He doesn't have a grave. He's everywhere and nowhere, part of the largest organism in human history. I close my eyes. The green glow is still visible through my eyelids, pulsing, living. I wonder if Danny's consciousness is still in there somehow, if some fragment of him exists in the vast neural network of the Bloom, if he's aware, if he's scared, if he's calling for me. I wonder if he knows I held him, if that matters to whatever he's become. I'll spend the rest of my life wondering, living in this glass box, watching the green glow under my skin, remembering his face when he asked why I was picking him up early from camp. The Bloom is stable now. That's what they tell me, not spreading anymore. But I know better. I can feel it inside me, feel it evolving, adapting, waiting. It's not done with us yet. We just don't know what comes next.